All right, welcome to the Built to Grow podcast. I am your host, Tim Lyons, in the studio. Gosh, it's such a nice studio. Joined by Randy Angston. What's up, bud?
Hello, feller.
Like these microphone arms, they're really nice.
They're hard not to play with the whole time.
I know.
Because they glide. They're all nice.
Yeah, real nice. Ooh. And we have room for a guest. So if you want to come on out to headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona, if you feel like you want to be a guest on the show, we got a spot for you. It's a great spot. Nice cushy couch for you here.
We're coming out to the Grow Summit this June.
That's right.
We'll drop you.
Speaking of, FitProGrowSummit.com is our Grow Summit. It's our annualized Grow Summit. It's our event to bring all things fitness business into one room, one weekend, one amazing event. Looking for about 250 clients this year, or seats, or whatever, at the W Hotel. That's all we can fit. We cover your food, and we got some amazing speakers. We got double keynotes. We got our friend Rick coming back. We've got a pre-con. We're getting crazy. We're getting wild.
Yeah.
Make sure you jump on those tickets, because as time goes on, the ticket prices go up, and even worse, like the hotel rooms may be sold out. So we only have so many rooms at this kind of boutique hotel. So jump on that, FitProGrowSummit.com. All right, so we are here in, January? I don't know what day it is, but you're at the beginning of the year. This is a great time where you set your goals maybe early in January or late December, and you have a plan. Most likely you had a plan last year. Most likely you had some things that you wanted to hit in 2022 that either you did or you didn't. I mean, honestly, you probably hit some, you probably missed out on some. Most people do.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting here in January, it's like you got these new goals, or maybe you don't. That's maybe the first step is like, hey, where do you want to see yourself at the end of 23? I got some big goals this year, giant goals that I've got written down at the house. Things I'll share with you guys over time. And I know I'll hit them because I'm already taking giant leaps towards those goals right in the first week of the year. So, but the point is action, right? Nothing happens without you doing something to change that, right? And so like you could either sit in hope, right? Hey, gosh, these other gym owners are doing really good. I wish I could do that. What are they doing? And then like trying just to learn. But the honest truth is you probably already know what to do.
Oh yeah.
You probably already have the information. If you've been listening to the last 391 episodes, you probably have some idea of a game plan, but yet you fail to do it, or you fail to take action. Why do you think that is?
Well, remember that old saying, everybody's going to plan until you get hit in the mouth.
That's Mike Tyson.
Tyson, right? Yeah. Well, it's the truth. And I think that this is one of those situations, right? With all of our best intentions don't mean anything if they're not followed up with action, right? And so that's, I think, really everybody's January kind of plays the plan, or runs the plan. Everything sticks. Everything kind of falls into place as we had it laid out, because it's fresh in mind, right? We just set those goals. We're on top of it. We're conscious of those things. So January is probably pretty easy to stick to those things. But what happens when, now those fires start up in the gym, and you got to start, shifting focus to the routine, the things that we experience throughout the year that have a tendency to detract us and deter us from our, from the goals and things like that. Pulling a card from my coach, Ben Newman, who's speaking at the Growth Summit. His whole thing is standards over emotions, standards over feelings. And it's what that means is it's going back to the things that we know create the result we're looking for, despite how we feel. And that's the key to success. When you have that game plan, that's running the plan, irrespective of getting hit in the mouth, right? And so gym owners, as we go through the year, I think that we all cater to the comfort. We cater to the things that we know. When it comes to growth happens in discomfort. Growth happens by doing more than what you've done before, doing something different. And the problem is, quite often we meet those things with fear, resistance, and we find ourselves not taking the action that we should because of those fears, because of the unknown, because of all of the resistance we have around something different, something new. But at the end of the day, this is where that internal kind of conflict comes from. We were talking before the show that, when you were presented with some of those things last year to make some of the changes, you jumped at that opportunity. But that doesn't happen from being the type of person that shies away from those disciplines, right? You've created the level of discipline through action, despite how you felt, that's put you in a position to make those same decisions each and every time. That's where I see the most power when it comes to creating a disciplined, set of, like a mental toughness for yourself. It's not about how we feel showing up today. We know what it takes to get the result, and if you don't do it, that's on you.
And there's a great quote, and I don't know who said it, but are you willing to sprint when the distance is unknown? Are you willing to sprint when the distance is unknown? And I think when we go back to like taking action on a plan, the hardest part is when you don't know what the result's going to be. Mm-hmm. The easier decision is that, like, for example, you've seen all of these people do this result. The 4-minute mile was a very good example. Nobody could fathom running a mile in 4 minutes until Roger Bannister ran a 4-minute 3:58, right? 4-minute mile, sub 4-minute mile. And then all of a sudden, just dozens of people
like
were able to.
6 in a week or something?
Yeah, it was wild. And so then I kind of go back to even our coaching program. And this may be where we fail as a marketing agency to market the results our clients are getting, because there's incredible results that they're getting.
Sure.
But wouldn't it be much easier as a gym owner that says, hey, all these guys are getting this 4-minute mile with ProFit and their accelerator program. Like, that makes an easier decision. I just need to take action in that direction. Right.
And that's what it is. It's, you don't need to necessarily have all of the pieces of the puzzle, right? You just need to know your next couple moves. And that's look, I know we've talked about the horse in the woods, right? Yeah. Tim's talking horse. You don't need to see the whole way. You don't need to see your way out. You just need you need to keep moving in the direction that leads to that result. And really, that's what it comes down to. But that's what discipline, not motivation when it comes and goes and, and ebbs and flows. And it's the discipline of the daily action. When we work with business owners in our business accelerator program, one of the first things that we have them do or have them work with is auditing their time, right? If you don't know where your time is spent, you have no idea the value of the time that you're putting into your business, what that's worth, if it's paying you dividends, or if it's even helping your business and so forth. And so getting hyper clear on the action that you're taking within the four walls and to grow your business, that's crucial. But it starts with that awareness. You're listening to the show, you have a desire for growth, you're already there. Are your actions supporting the things that you said you're going to do? I mean, hell, take it to that point of the promises you've made for yourself, right? Are you an individual of integrity that when nobody's looking, you do the things you said you're going to do because that's what you said you promised to yourself, because that's what it takes in order to get that result. I mean, if you're acting out of alignment there, don't expect the results to come.
It's not going to happen.
It's that simple.
It's not going to happen. Atomic Habits is a great book.
Yeah, you just got through that.
Well, I'm in the middle of it. And really, it was all you hear about in the world of whatever business is you got to set goals, right? Mm-hmm. Set goals, actionable goals. But why say this is a great portion of the book? It's not the goals, because two people could have the same exact goal. One person gets it and one person doesn't. And what's the difference? It's the actions. Mm-hmm. So it's the systems, right? It's the actions person A took that got the goal, irrespective of the goal. So goals are important, but they are not the reason why people get to the goal.
No,
because two teams have the same goal of winning the Super Bowl,
right? Yeah.
Of winning the Super Bowl or winning that game. One team wins, one team doesn't. What's the difference between them? It's the game planning. It's the weight room in the off season. It's the personnel. It's the playbook, the coaching calls. It's
execution.
The execution, right? And so, like, I don't want to say like, hey, goals are worthless. I mean, honestly, they're not worthless, but they aren't that important when it comes down to getting to the end result. It's the actions you take, period. Like, you just can't have a goal on the wall and not do anything, and hopefully it just appears one day, right?
And even within, though, like a perfect example, we'll go into that a little bit with the clients that we've worked with. I mean, we've had people that have joined our coaching program that have those goals, and in 8 weeks, they're not doing the work that it takes to get the results of the things that they say that they want. What does that mean? That means they didn't get the result that they could have because they didn't show up to the best of their ability. It's a lead a horse to water. We can give you all the information, but you still got to go do the work. And in every world, like there's a portion of the people that just don't execute.
So then it comes down, the next question might be like, what is the X factor that results, like the reason that this person got the result versus the other person?
Well,
internally,
you said something that I found that was interesting in explaining how we got to the goal from when James Clear explains it, right? It's the systems that carry the weight. The systems that you fall back on that get the results that lead to the goal you're looking for. I used a quote a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, but he says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
That's what the quote was from. That's this whole story.
Exactly, right? And so if you don't have those systems in place, I mean, if you've been listening to Tim and I for a long time, like we're not the flashy marketing company, right? We have a coaching program rooted in systems. Those systems are going to they're doing the work when you don't feel like you want to. Some of that stuff's coming off of your shoulders and going into automation. Some of it's going onto your team members. Some of it is on your plate and you still need to execute. But the systems are what you have to execute on, not trying to figure it out every single day and reinvent the path to the goal. Execute the systems that are laid out that mimic that level of success. There's another book, Steal Like an Artist. The whole thing's based around, hey, that person has that, much like a painting, right? Like you steal like an artist. You go and you replicate the level of success from the things that we know that they've done in order to reach that level of success. You don't need to copy and plagiarize it. I just need to know what tools that they've used along the way, do the same, same kind of rules and regulations for myself, and you're going to get a similar result.
It's not rocket science.
Exactly, right? But if you don't have those systems, if you're not taking the actions and doing, what those systems dictate, the results aren't going to come. I mean, otherwise, you're literally sitting around waiting and hoping there's luck.
Well, it's funny. I was pulling up in the parking lot just now, like before the show, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, okay, I already know that we've got 3 appointments for consultations this morning. I'm going to walk in, and Zach's going to be in there, and he was talking to a new client or a prospect. I was going to walk to the back. I passed a couple of clients in the hallways, high fives, chest bumps, and then I go out to the training floor, and the coach is breaking down the session, and he's walking through the warm up with everybody. I'm like, I'm not needed here. This is happening without me, right? And even prior to the appointments, we had the marketing in place. The booked appointments were happening through automation. It's funny, and I ask sometimes, like, Zach, did you call that client? Because I get the Slack feed of all the appointments. It's like, did you call the client? Nope, booked on their own. Did you call this one? Nope, booked on their own. Did you call this one? Nope, booked on their own. It's kind of nice, right? Like it takes the weight of all the stress of the business right off. It's done. Like it's all happening irrespective of me being involved.
Having to pull the levers. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. And now, let's just talk about what that allows you to do. It allows you to spend your time working on that business, right? You can go and you could spend more energy putting more leads in the bucket, or creating better relationships with other business owners in the area to draw in new clientele. There's a million things that you could do to work on the business. You make a choice to work here at Profit and spend your time in here growing this, working with our clients here. You've got, your land deals and things like that you're working on that take time and energy and effort. But if you were in the 4 walls of that business every single day, basically being one of those systems rather than having a system in place, that falls on you.
I have no time for anything else.
Well, and you gym owners listening, many of you, and I say this because we work with you guys every single day. I've probably had 2,000 phone calls in the last 4 years with gym owners that are in the seat you're sitting in. The difference is you're not making a choice to put the systems in place. You're choosing to do the work yourself. And if you continue playing that is the rat race, and you're going to continue being stuck where you're at until you make a different choice, implement the systems, and execute the play.
Period.
It is. I mean, we talk about owner benefit all the time, and I think, unfortunately, to a lot of gym owners, it's arbitrary. They don't have a grasp on what that kind of life could be like, or that, holy crap, I actually make money from my business without having to be on the training floor and earn, trade hours for dollars, or holy crap, I can take a day off or a vacation. Guys, this is what we're building for you. This is what you should be building for yourself if it's not with us. But at the end of the day, it's not going to happen because that's your goal. hell, when we look at the math of most gyms and the goals and the desires of the gym owner, there is no opportunity for those to even happen on with the plan that they have in place. If you got to be hyper clear on this stuff, and you have to execute harder than anybody else is gonna. But once you're there, I mean,
it's great. I'll tell you. And there's Iron Circle members, right? I just talked to 4 of them this morning, right? I was like, hey guys, year end, like, you know, let's talk. What'd you guys do? Where we hit? What was your net profit? Whatever. You know, one guy, he's opening 4 new gyms next year. His one gym's great. He's doing, I don't know, $750, 25% net profit plus owner benefit on top of that, and he's opening 4 gyms. Another guy has 5 locations. He's like 15 grand away from $1 million. You know, come on, dude. If you're that close, you just got to sell something.
So high ticket,
sell something. Sell a piece of equipment, right? hey, just buy this 2 treadmills just to get us over that number. Just, you know, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
But they're able to do all these other things, and it's great, right? Instead of just worrying about that gym today, right?
And I know this sounds dismal, and it doesn't sound fun, right? It's not exciting when you hear that this is the unfortunate state of much of the industry. But the beautiful thing and the Hail Mary saving grace of it all is that with everybody where they're at right now, these outliers are crushing it. Yes, and the only difference is they made a different choice. They're clear, they're intentional. They don't walk into their business and go, "Oh, cool, let me jump on the training floor and train my 5 favorite clients today and take the rest of the day off." No, they have a game plan for every single position in that business, the roles, the responsibilities, the systems are in place. They run the play.
Yeah, it's great.
No guesswork, just run the damn play.
You nailed it. There's people that are doing really well, the outliers, and then there's the average. And the only difference was the choices they made. And a lot of times,
followed by action.
And it ain't because they're in some wealthy area.
Nope.
It's just because they're doing something different. And guys, there's a path there. We know the path. It's in our coaching program. So guys, hopefully this helps you kind of kick yourself in the butt to take action. Whatever action you take it, right? Whatever you decide is the right path, just do it, right? Run the play. There's people that can help you do that. If you need help from us, winninggym.com/grow. We would love to talk to you. That's it for this episode, guys. Until next show, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.